talk about my favorite out of TIFF. And that is the Banshees of Inisherin, the latest from writer-director Martin McDonagh, returning to Ireland after his sojourn in the U.S. This one has Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson starring as a pair of friends who find themselves at an impasse when one abruptly decides he doesn't like the other anymore. And I think the thing that I really love about this film is how it starts with this very small idea. Two friends and one of them decides he doesn't want to hang out anymore, and it takes that and really like expands it into this existential philosophical idea of like what is a good use of time, how should we act to people on earth. And I think you can take this movie from its small details or take it on like a grand scale like that, and it works either way. It is so hilarious and bleak in terms of its humor, but just like I think McDonagh is one of the most skilled at just lacing in perfect bits of profanity into his dialogue in ways that are so funny. The repeated lines are so funny. I was just really captivated by this one. I thought it was so funny, and it stuck with me afterwards. I love Banshees of Inisherin, so I'm curious if anybody else felt as strongly as I did, because to me this was the best film at the festival.
This is like my second favorite, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sanctuary just like fucking did it for me. Like that was just, but this is so good. And like you said, it is really just that idea that you could take it just on the face value of, you know, like this friendship gone awry in a real way. And then you can look at it at that bigger level of like, you know, what ought you be in the world? What is a good, valuable trait? What are things that kind of goes in weird, like ways that's going to remind you of like Whiplash, and like the idea of like, is it better to be remembered or is it better to be liked, and just different things like that. And an interesting look at both sides of the arguments there. I thought it was really great performances. I also really like that. I feel like there's almost a mental shift with how you start perceiving Colin's character. You kind of start off thinking he's kind of, you know, this regular not well-to-do, but just, you know, regular kind of character, and then you kind of see how different people in the village kind of perceive him, and how that changes his own perception of himself.
Is he nice,
and how
or is he dull?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I was like, this is really good.
Yeah. I was really looking at it because I think it's a film that can only come in this man's filmography after something like Three Billboards. I think there's a lot of that in this, not necessarily the movie, but like how it was received. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm like reading into it too much. I just like the whole like, but you liked me yesterday line is like, it seems like a very, I was just kind of looking at it from that lens. And I'm like, this feels like Martin McDonagh kind of like processing the fact that a lot of people that loved him gave up on him after that film. And like, I don't know, obviously it's like, it's at its bones is like just two friends. And I really love films like that. It reminded me of like Mikey and Nikki by Elaine May in a lot of ways. And I just, it's hilarious. Like you said, very bleak. I don't think it's as like easy to recommend as I expected it to be. Just because it is extremely bleak, but that's so funny to me. Like I love the sense of humor this has, especially because of the one kind of crazy thing that happens or starts happening like halfway through, and you're like, there's no fucking way. And then just the more it happens, the funnier it is. It's just so, I don't know. It's amazing how, I guess just like thrilling it is for how simple the story is. And I can't wait to see this one again. It's the first of his that I've actually loved. Like, I haven't really been hooked on any of his movies yet, and this one I was like, yes, absolutely. Okay. Does everything right.
Yeah, I went into this one hoping I would like it as much as some of his other ones, and I ended up liking it more than any film he's ever made. So yeah, I mean, just excited to watch it again at this point. It's such a good time.
Yeah.